You are listening to the Gritty Podcast, where we talk about all things gritty. All right, folks, welcome to the Gritty Podcast. I am your host, Brian Call. We got Brad Hunt behind the camera. And today on this episode, I'm going to talk about my backup bow and the new arrows that I got, that I'm getting set up for this hunt down south for coues deer. All of you that have been following my show for a while, you know that I like to shoot a heavy arrow. I've been using the Valkyrie system for a long time. My arrow rig right now is about 525 grains, shooting 279 feet per second. Okay. For coues deer, got to talking with Jeremiah Plyer down at Wild Arrow. He put a bug in our ear, told Brad, hey, just go light and go crazy. So why not? So we got a new arrow here. This is the RIP Extreme Velocity by Victory. It's 250 spine, but this thing, the total arrow weight is right around, it's 410 grains. So like I said, my last one is 525 grains, so a lot lighter. And it's probably coming out of the bow. I shot an arrow a little bit longer than this, which was Jeremiah's arrow. It was going like 311, like 309. So I think I'm going to be around 314, 315 maybe. Either way, it's fast, super fast. My PSE Mach 34 is in the shop getting some work done, getting a new string and a little bit of extra. That's my hunting rig. That's what I'm going to use on this coues deer hunt. But I have a backup bow, which is this Evo XF, and I wanted to get it set up. I always like to bring a backup bow on every hunt. So I've got this one at the house while the other one's still getting new strings, and got to shoot it today. I think this bow is a little bit slower than the Mach 34, so it's probably going 310, maybe 311 out of this bow. But this one's a little bit longer draw length. The shorter axle to axle on this, for some reason, the string angle, it just gives me about a half, 3/4 inch longer draw. Anyway, got the arrows. So far, they tuned super easy. They're shooting like rockets down range. And I'm very curious. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of worried about going with this lighter rig, but it is a small critter. Coues deer are tiny. We don't have to punch through a lot of brush. It's open desert. There is some tall grass. There is a little bit of brush. So we'll have to contend with that. All of this is just a cost benefit. You know, yeah, it's faster, shooting flatter, a little more forgiving that way. These are small targets. Coues deer are tiny. I like that. If I guess a little wrong on the yardage or it moves back or forward, I like the faster arrow setup. They also duck the string. I like that. It's faster. I like the range I'm getting out of this arrow more than my 525 grain arrow. Some of you guys watched that last video too, and that 525 grain arrow, especially Brad's arrow, mine does it too, but not as bad. As that arrow with the F.O.C on it is coming up, and especially on these uphill shots when we shoot at this mule deer that's kind of halfway up this hillside in our backyard, the arrow is going up because it's heading upward toward that mule deer. And at the crest, it comes back down, and it's lost a lot of speed. At like 85 yards, you can really see it. And it looks like as it comes down, it sort of loses a little bit of momentum. The helical sort of parachutes, it looks like, or the shaft is a little loose with a little weak with the 200 grain on the front or something. Not sure. But when that arrow crests and comes down, you'll see on occasion like the arrow goes woo and loses its trajectory a little bit. We lose accuracy. You know, for me at 85, 90 yards, I'm still grouping them in the kill zone in the insert, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't get a tighter group if I had an arrow that cleanly flew all the way in. Well, and that's the advantage of filming at 120 feet per second with a camera and really looking down range. When I'm shooting flat, you don't see it. When I'm shooting uphill, all the way uphill, like straight up, you don't really see it. But on this particular, where that deer's probably 20 yards above us, and at 85 yards, it's not only going up, but it's because it's got the arc to deal with on top of shooting upward. You can see that thing kind of parachute at the end and wobble its way in. Not good. So that was another thing we wanted to look into. Maybe it's the helical on there, which again is it's got its pros and cons. With a big fat fixed blade on the front, and that helical, as it comes out of the bow, it pretty much rights itself pretty quick. You get really good accuracy. But I am noticing, like, at about, on an upward shot, not super steep, but steep, longer range, I'm really seeing something going on with the arrow. So we filmed these slow motion today, Brad and I, as we shot them, these faster arrows, and it'll be cool to see how they fly. It looks like they're flying like darts. And Brad, I've outshot Brad quite a bit. Quite a bit on those 85, 90 yard shots on that uphill target. But after watching the arrow flight and seeing how his arrow wobbles a lot more,
it's not me.
Brad might have been getting robbed of some potential victories due to tuning and due to the arrow. So anyway, this is just fun. We're just bringing you along and sharing kind of our journey, messing around with it. Like I said, I'm a little worried. This isn't going to punch through a lot of grass or anything. It might blow a little bit in the wind compared to my other setup, but we're kind of bringing the right tool to the right hunt. And I just don't know that we get a ton of wind. In the desert, sometimes it can kick up, but generally there wasn't a lot of wind last time we were there. And those shots are a little bit longer range, and those deer are quick to move. So a faster setup, and the targets are small. So flat trajectory, it's like, it's going to come with some pros and cons, but I'm excited to give it a shot. Part of archery is just experimenting with new things and trying out new stuff. I definitely prefer heavy arrows, but heck, man, coues deer, coyotes, they're a little bit smaller, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we'll keep you posted on our little journey with these. I'm going to shoot a couple arrows here and finish out my training for today. We'll see you on the next podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Stay gritty.